The sun dipped below the horizon long ago, and the sky was a deep indigo, sprinkled with diamonds of starlight. A woman walked slowly along the deserted beach. The sand was cool and damp beneath her feet, squishing between her toes. The only sound was the rhythmic hush of the waves, a lullaby that echoed the emptiness within her. She looked down at the wet sand, the place where moments before her footprints had been visible, clear and distinct. Now they were gone, vanished into the vastness of the sea. It was as if she herself had never been there. She felt forgotten, like the chapters of her life had been ripped out of someone else's story. All the effort, all the striving, all the dreams she'd held so close, none of it seemed to matter. They were walking in her footsteps. At first, it had been hard to make out the path, but now the children could see it clearly. They followed it eagerly, their little legs pumping, their laughter tinkling like wind chimes in the gentle breeze. No one had noticed. No one cared. Her heart ached with the quiet despair of lives lived in vain. She saw them come closer, saw their faces upturned towards her, etched with wonder and excitement. With every step she took, more of her footprints were lost to the sea. Soon, she thought, she wouldn't be able to find her way back. She turned, wanting to retrace her steps, to make sure she hadn't missed something, anything, but the path behind her was disappearing too. The woman stood there, rooted to the spot, as the children skipped away, their laughter echoing in her ears. Then slowly, a realization dawned on her face. She understood. "Let's follow it," she said, taking off her shoes and socks and wading into the shallow water. "Let's see where it leads us." The path she'd left behind was still there, imprinted in the sand, guiding others even when she couldn't see it herself. This time, it wasn't a tear of sadness, but of quiet triumph. "You may not always see your impact," she thought, "but others are walking in your steps." It was as if the very ground was trying to erase her memory. As the tide came in, the foamy fingers of the waves washed over her feet, erasing the imprint of her steps. She took a deep breath, a single tear tracing a lonely path down her cheek. She stood there for a long time, watching the relentless waves devour the shore, each one bringing her closer to the edge of despair. Then slowly, almost imperceptibly, she began to smile. A faint echo of amusement danced in her eyes. This too would pass, she thought, as the tide eventually recedes, revealing what lies beneath. Squinting against the soft morning light, she saw something that made her smile widen. Just beyond the foam, two small figures were walking carefully along the shore. At first, their steps were hesitant, unsure, but as they gained confidence, they began to follow the path more closely, mimicking the movements of the person who had walked there before them. She watched them, puzzled. What were they doing? Why were they treading so carefully? Then she saw it. They were following her footprints. For a while, the woman stood there, her whole being focused on the two specks of humanity on the beach. "Did you make this?" one of them asked, his voice echoing her own childhood innocence. "I think so," she replied, surprised by the catch in her voice. "It's amazing," the other one exclaimed, her eyes shining with admiration, and without another word, she disappeared into the sparkling expanse of the sea. It didn't matter that her footprints were fading, that the waves were washing away her tracks. She closed her eyes, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. "You may not always see your impact, but others are walking in your steps."